Hello, this is the RPG Crawler, and welcome to my channel update for July 2017. This is where I take a look back at the last month or so in what's been going on in the channel and look towards the future, let you guys know what's been going on, what's going to be going on, my plans, etc., and get feedback from you. You know, this is the number one place where you can go ahead and dump all the feedback that you got from my channel, and I'll go ahead and take it into account going forward. Now, I know it may not seem like that because I've got some really good feedback lately in terms of videos to do. I just haven't had time to do them. They're on my to-do list. So if you've been wondering, hey, where's my idea? I know there's at least 3 good ones, really good ones that were given to me that I will be working in the coming months. First of all, I'd like to thank all my new subscribers. I've noticed this month I've had a number of new subscribers over my old one, over my usual growth rate, which is good. That means I'm going in the right direction. I'd like to welcome you all. Go ahead, and if you've got time, if you're a new subscriber, or even an old subscriber, if you're a new subscriber and you have time, and you want to let me know what kind of videos brought you here in terms of my videos. I do have the YouTube analytics, but it gives me like about half of the people that join subscribe from the general channel page, and that doesn't tell me a lot in terms of what content brought your eyes. So, you know, I'd appreciate any feedback on that if you're willing to take the time out. If you're willing to take the time out, I do read my comments. I've been letting a few slip by without commenting on them recently, mostly because my life has been a living hell for the past month. And I will get into that. I'm actually going to include like the entire details for those of you who are wondering what the hell's been going on with the channel for the last 2 months. I'm going to tell you as much of the saga as I can at the end if you're curious about that. My patrons know what I'm talking about, or they have some inkling about what I'm talking about already. Really appreciate the patrons. I've seen a little bit of patron growth last month, and I appreciate that. And I'm kind of actually ashamed to accept the ones that have, because I've been trying to get videos out the last month, but I have been really slow the last few weeks, and it has been telling me, and I've been kicking myself about it. But I will tell you what's been going on with that at the end of this video. I'll try to put some sort of a marker in the bottom if you want to skip right to it. But anyway, hello everybody. Thank you the new subscribers, and thank you the old subscribers that keep watching me after all this time. So, in terms of the last month of videos, I actually have recorded a couple tabletop videos, and I'm going to get you the list in a moment. I've just been up to my eyeballs and things that I'll get into at the end of it. I'm still working on. Don't worry about if you're wondering what the hell happened to my Let's Plays. I'm still recording them. I made the mistake of selecting Underrail as one of my Let's Plays. And that's not a mistake from the fact that, oh, there's a bad game. No, I'm loving the game so far, but it is a challenging game. And therefore, when I come off of a little bit of a high-stress situation, I go into this extremely challenging game. I find it really difficult to make meaningful commentary at the camera if I'm already frustrated going in and encounter frustrating situations in the game. I mean, unless you like to see me just sit there and rage at the camera for 5 minutes straight without getting any forward progress, but I like to think that people, while a certain small fraction of people do come to watch me rage and lose my shit at things, I like to think that a number of other people like to see the continual progress through these games. So I'm trying to make it so that you're seeing that progress. I'm cutting out all the random wandering around and getting lost and shit, and going up against a fight 4 or 5 times, you know, that sort of thing. You know, I always show one failure and then the success. Sometimes I'll throw another failure in if it's an exceptionally funny failure, but I'm working on that. In terms of tabletop stuff going on, I'm taking a look. I've got 2 video caches here. I have 1 more Goblin Gears in the queue. And the thing about Goblin Gears is this: I know it's only 2 people, but like there was a recent issue in the chat channel where I organized my 2 people, and one of them pissed off one of the other operators and got himself banned. And I'm trying to keep in touch with him. Unfortunately, due to the things that have been going on in my real life, I haven't really been able to keep in touch with him in terms of a decent schedule. So Goblin Gears is still on. it's just super slow right now because I've got to go ahead and organize. I got to organize a regularly scheduled game, and that's just not going to happen pretty much. In terms of other tabletop stuff, what I have is a Curse of Strahd game, which I started again, and we started it pretty much with the old Curse of Strahd group, except with the guy that was playing Javik replaced with another person that I know, and she was playing a paladin type. And the thing about that is that one was going a little bit slow as well, and we actually got most of the way through Death House, which, yeah, I know, yeah, Death House again. Some of these guys had run it for like 2 or 3 times, and they wiped. They managed to wipe, and not even on the boss. They wiped on just a random encounter, not a random encounter, but just a miscellaneous encounter in the basement. They all died. Yeah, the characters all died, and so I have like 5 episodes of a Curse of Strahd game that terminated with them total party wiping in such a manner that it makes it hard to bring them back. And then me going, well, goddamn, okay. And I think a lot of it just has to do with the fact that they pushed on without resting, because there had been like a week or 2 gap because people had family and shit in. And my intention had been with that one was to record until they got out of Death House and then start uploading it. Well, they never got out of Death House. So what I might do is I might edit that into like a digest format, see if I can't get it. I've got 5 videos of it, and the first 3 of the videos, they should have been done in 3 sessions, but the first 3 of the videos were just random shit going on to one person and then another person and another person that would cut the sessions short. So I've got a couple of these sessions that are only like an hour or so. So what I might try doing is, and I've already got permission to go ahead and put these online, but what I might try doing is putting like a digest format up with all the highlights of that one, and I'll probably put it on my patrons first, see how they like it, and then go ahead towards the general channel, or just leave it as a patron exclusive thing. I don't know. I need to make it up to my patrons. I have not been putting out the quantity of content that I intended to this month, which is really sad because I've honestly got like 30 videos ideas in the queue ready to go, or as soon as I get time. In terms of the D&D retrospective, I am now on the BX D&D. That's the Moldvay one, I believe. I could be wrong. Yeah, I think it was Moldvay and then Menser. Yeah, Moldvay Cook. That's the one I'm on right now. I'm doing my research on it and trying to make it an interesting story, and then I'll split that one and the Beck Me Up into 2 videos, I think. And they may be short videos, or at least the BX one might be relatively short. I'll try and get some really interesting stuff on, well, not really interesting, but decently interesting stuff on filler on that one, and then go forth. It's been requested of me that I start looking at other games, like do similar retrospectives on other gaming systems. It's been requested that I do like a retrospective on all the West End games, a retrospective on Vampire. I know somebody, like informally on a chat program, asked me to do a retrospective on like Shadowrun. And these are all systems that I would love to do a retrospective on. I'm going to like adjust my format a little bit on it so it's more interesting to watch. Not like all jokes and shit, but like more visual cues, more things like that. And I will be getting on those as soon as I can. And those are good ideas, and I will be getting on them. But I do want to finish the D&D retrospective all the way to 5th edition. That is something I'm set to do. And I could probably, like, if I sat down and did nothing but the D&D retrospective, I could probably knock it out in a couple of weeks. But I am slow walking it because I do like to do my research, and I do like to find out, not necessarily the intricacies of the politics at the time, because there were a lot of them especially I'm coming up on that era where Gygax, I'm in that era where Gygax was forced out, and then they had some other, there's some other shenanigans going on. And I may touch on that, but I'm not necessarily going to focus on that. There's plenty of other places that focus on it. I'm more focused on the systems themselves and how they developed and how they operate. In terms of other tabletop stuff I've got going, I've got Tabletops and Taverns, non-monsters as foes. I don't know what I'm going to call that one. I had originally titled it like Monstrification of Foes, But it's one of those tabletops and taverns where I actually started recording it, and then I realized that what I wanted to say and what I had scripted to say were two different things entirely. So I threw out the script and just started doing like a vlog style, which I've done before, and people seem to like it. Once I edit all my rambling and shit out. But I did a vlog style on basically talking about using monsters as your main big bads all the time versus using, humanoids and humanoid-derived people, beings and their motivations and such all the time as foes. And basically talking about the pros and cons of using each, and basically encouraging people to use non-monsters as foes from time to time. And I've got the whole video on that, and I will put that up as soon as I've edited it. It's already recorded. I've got another off the cuff review. This one of Grimtooth's Ultimate Traps, and I've got that recorded. And that one is another one where I just looked at the camera and I thought about what I'd started to script, because I'd started to script a review for this. And if you've actually seen that review, if you've seen this particular book, you'll know that a review would probably, despite it being a large book, a review would probably only be very short, because it's like doing a review of an index. It's like a list of stuff. There's some stuff in there besides like just traps and such, but the bulk of the book is just traps and such. And so I did like an off-the-cuff review on that, just talking about the organization and things, and I think it did pretty well. I'm going to go ahead and edit it out, but it's recorded, it's edited, and ready to go. I have a question for the people that like watching these tabletops and taverns and off-the-cuff or scripted reviews versus off-the-cuff reviews. Let me know whether you like seeing me on script or off script, because what I've been thinking about doing, and yes, I know I've got so many projects that it begins to boggle the mind, but these off-the-cuff kind of vlog-type things, I could do more of these as filler. I know RPG Storytime is very, very much one of those, and I'm going to do more RPG Storytimes, but these are the kinds of content that I can put up while scripting other reviews. If you want to see more of them, let me know in the comments below, because it's something I've been considering doing for a while, and not necessarily just on RPG-specific stuff, even though this is a majority RPG channel, but also like things that might inspire RPGs, like fantasy-based or like film, like shows, books, whatever. I could throw my thoughts on a certain series or whatever out there. Let me know if you'd like to see that sort of thing, because that's the kind of thing where I can come in even when I'm stressed and sit here and spend an hour doing, just to make sure that you guys have content to watch, because I only got like 4 videos up last week, and that was fucking terrible. I'm the first to admit it. I fucked up. I should have got stuff on the way beforehand, whatever. In terms of other upcoming stuff, I have a Tabletops and Taverns series talking about, or not a series, but I've got 2 videos that I'm going to do. One of them is I'm going to talk about optimal party size, which I think I've touched on before, but I don't think I've examined it. Optimal party size in various genres, and then 2, I'm going to talk about designing adventures for small groups. 2-player, single player, whatever. And those are my next 2 Tabletops and Taverns videos. I'm going to hope to get them up in quick succession, but every time I say I'm going to hope to get them up in quick succession, shit happens. See, I have a patron D&D game, which I have to edit and put up, and I don't know if it's going to be patron only or what. They're doing really good, by the way. And it's not necessarily a patron only. I've also got somebody who's supported me in the past in other endeavors in there, so that one's actually doing pretty well, and I may actually start putting that up relatively soon. I have, let's see what I've got. I'm going to stick with Underrail, and Hordes of the Underdark is my 2 main Let's Plays. I think I'm about halfway through Hordes of the Underdark, maybe a little less. So that one's actually going. People told me, "Oh, I don't think it's going to be as quick as you think," but I think it's going to be as quick as I think, because I'm looking through the chapter list on it, and it's going pretty good. I'm enjoying that one a lot. I don't usually like real epic type things, but that one I'm enjoying a lot. Let's see, the usual retro reviews I've been promising for months. Those are still on my to-do list. Let's see, I've got more game reviews. I've got a note here. Do more game reviews. Should I do more game reviews? I should do more game reviews. I've got you know that have been doing those indie first looks and people like those. I've got 2 of them that I recorded and then live hit me square in the head, and I haven't been able to edit them or put them up. Oh my god. Yeah, and now the stuff now they're like out of alpha. So if I put them up, it's a first look on the whole thing. So I may go back and take a look at how they are right now. And I feel bad because they were actually sent to me by the developers, and I get the occasional indie, really really low end indie game sent to me by developers, asking me, hey, can you look at this? And the issue with that is that a lot of them. Some of them, the majority of them aren't ready for prime time because a lot of them are like alpha states. Now, some of those developers have seen me that I will actually do them even on an incomplete game if I think it has potential. Some of the games though need a little bit of more work before they even show that potential. And so I guess what I'm saying is that there are 2 of them that I wanted to do because they did show potential, but I just didn't get to edit them and put them up in time. I may see the status on one if it's still like in beta or whatever, then I'll go ahead and put up my first impressions on it. But there are some that were sent to me that just I can't. I'm not a channel that's just going to go ahead and trash things that like I'll offer constructive criticism. I'm not going to put something up to trash, but if my entire video is nothing but basically telling you that a lot of stuff needs to be redesigned, then I'm not going to like if my constructive criticism is basically start over, that's not constructive. I mean, it is in a way some of the things, but it's not. Anyway, if you've been waiting for a video, I want to say I'm sorry if you've been waiting for. Oh fuck! I think I deleted the footage just now. Oh no! And it's not coming back. God damn it. Anyway, yeah, I think Worlds of Chaos Invasion may have been the one of them. Anyway, if you've been wondering where your review is on that, I wanted to do it. I had it recorded. I didn't get a chance to edit it and put it up. That one has some potential. They need a little bit of work on it. I had some actual constructive criticism on it, but I didn't get to it. Well, we'll have to see. I may come back to it. I'm going to see how far along they are. But things like that, I'll try to do more first looks. First looks are limited as in terms of decent RPGs that are coming out that have like alphas and betas or whatever. I know I want to do what was it, Rail Story or something? I'll take a look. I covered in my last news roundup. It looks interesting. There's an alpha or a demo on that. There's a bunch of demos I'd like to take a look at. Because people seem to like those. I need to make a playlist with the first looks I've already got. The problem with the first looks is that once the video's been out for a little while, it doesn't really have that sort of same draw. It doesn't, it kind of loses relevancy really quick. As opposed to certain reviews that I do that could be good reviews for years to come. So, because I'm not a primary... I like to review stuff, but I'm not a primary game reviewer. So I approach game reviews almost like I do literary reviews. Wow, I've been rambling on for a while now, and I keep getting interrupted by phone calls and shit. So anyway, that's my plans for next month. Excuse me. My plans for next month are basically to get back on track. And that was my plan for this month, and I just completely failed entirely. But my plans for next month are to get back on track, and I'm going to genuinely try like a lot. In fact, as soon as I'm done here, this may not go up for a couple days because I do put these up for my patrons first, and then it'll go to the channel. But by the time this goes up, there should be another couple videos in the queue that I haven't mentioned already. It just depends on how I've had a chance to record them. But yeah, I will get into what's been taking my time and shit up after I do my outro, pretty much. Anyway, yeah, as I said, give me any feedback that you've got. Tell me what videos you've been watching. If you're new, tell me what videos. If you're new, you got time. I'm not going to push it on anyone, but go ahead and let me know what videos or video series brought you in, and I'll go ahead and take a look at those. And know that I will be getting more tabletop stuff up in the future as fast as I can feasibly do so. Anyway, thank you all for being viewers. Thank you all for your support. This has been the RPG Crawler. If you like what you've seen, remember to leave a like, comment if you got feedback, and subscribe for more RPG content, both tabletop and computer. If you want to help support the channel, of course, I have a Patreon at patreon.com/RPGcrawler, and I swear I'm going to try and make it more worthwhile coming up. Until next time, take care and goodbye, unless you want to hear me ramble about what's been going on, in which case, stay tuned. Alright, you still here? Okay, this is where I turn into vlog mode, and the reason I'm folding it into this is so that people only really have to watch one, and it's totally not to inflate my view times or whatever. Okay, so basically, and this has been a long time coming. Those of you who don't know a lot about what I do, of course, this is not my day job, because you can't support. You need a lot of subscribers to do YouTube full time. I would be overjoyed to have that someday, but right now I'm really content with a close-knit family of viewers that watch me do things and basically value my input enough to subscribe to the channel and such. That's neither here nor there. That means I do have to have outside work, and in general, one of the outside work has been basically managing property and doing property repairs, and so add on to that some family issues, and my family issues are as follows. I have, and I'm going to come out and say it, I have a sister. I've been trying to help her out, but the problem with her is that she's one of those people where if you try to help them a little bit, they take like everything, and then it's hard to explain, but imagine, if you will, somebody pleading for help, you going out to help them, making sure they get to their doctor's appointments and whatever, and then the very next day, them ranting and screaming at you and calling you all sorts of hateful, vile things, and then the next day bitching that you don't have like their favorite meal even though you didn't know they were coming over. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not going to say the roots of that, but I've been living with that, trying to help her out for a month and a half, and then trying to help her out for quite a while before that. But anyway, prior to last month she seemed to be getting back on track. She had all her doctors and stuff. She went ahead and was going to get her own place so she could move out of my guest room and whatever. And so I made sacrifices. I don't have a lot of spending cash. And what I do is pour it into my hobbies like this. And so I made sacrifices to make sure she got her own place. And so I thought, hey, now she's got her own place, I'm going to be able to spend more of my free time, because that was like really high stress situation. I would come home, I would get screamed at, and it would just put me off recording, and I would just sit here going, holy shit, did that just happen? So I thought I was going to get some peace and quiet last month, and then what turned out is that she spent like 4 days at her new place and then started like crashing on people's couches again, even though she had paid the place up. And then she came like pretty much over here by... I'm in one of those situations where I'm close to my elderly parents, and they basically said help her out or else, basically, that it would cause a rift in the family. And so I was hoping to get her with her doctors and then get some time to actually focus on myself, but that's not to happen. And then she came over basically threatening to kill herself unless like she got to crash on the couch or whatever. And so I was basically got my arm twisted to let her crash here, even though even though she had her own place. And it's bad. I mean, it's real bad. It's like I can't even move around my own. I can't even move. I can't even go get a glass of water without risking this shrieking individual coming up in my face, breaking shit to piss me off, and then whipping out her phone, but like whipping out her phone and recording and saying, like, getting me to the point, like breaking my shit, wasting shit, throwing stuff away, screaming and shrieking at me. And then if I show any sign that I'm at all going to lose my temper, or if I talk back to her at all saying, please calm down or whatever, she whips out her phone, starts recording me, and says, I'm going to get you on video. And she needs to get out of here. But on the other hand, I know she needs help, because that's the kind of thing that's borderline. You know, I'm not even saying borderlines. I'm not a psychologist, so I don't know what it is, but it's clearly not normal. And you know, my folks, you know, God bless them. I want to stay close to them so that I can help them out, so I can run across the street, whatever, and help them out with whatever they need. But they basically put this thing where, like, if you go ahead and kick her out, or if you don't go ahead and they don't even want me to try and you know, it's to the point where I think she's a danger to me, if not herself. And they're like, and we don't want you to get whatever courts involved, or it's going to cause a big rift in the family. And so I'm stuck in a bad situation. And I'm in case you're wondering, I'm not crying or anything. It's not one of those tearjerker things. No, I'm just thinking about the. And some of you are like, "Oh my shit, he's got actual eyes under those glasses." No, it's got to the point where I'm not saying this for sympathy and shit. What I'm saying is that I've always been very solution focused. And I'm at that point right now where I'm looking for solutions to produce content for my channel, which is very important to me. The channel has probably been one of the best things for my own personal mental state that I've come across in years. I'm loving reviewing things. I'm loving trying to, you know, make interesting content. I'm loving trying to bring role-playing game content, you know, whether it be tabletop or computer, out for you guys. And then on the other hand, I'm also trying to find a solution where I can manage and get my sister the help she needs, all while she's basically being a screaming banshee and a very hateful individual, at the same time, while also balancing the solutions that will let me do so in a manner that will let me keep up with my elderly parents, whom I value greatly. So it's like a three-way thing right here, and I'm trying to find the solutions here, and I've got to approach it very analytically, and it's just been taking a lot of time and stress, and so I'll come in just completely stressed. And then, and add on to this the fact that when I was talking about doing, like, my job is like managing properties, and or like my paying job is like managing properties, I've got about a dozen different things that I do for, like, cash here and there. I've got some books that I've written. I need to go ahead and tell you guys more about them sometime. Got books I've written. I do like freelance programming. I'm like got a fingers in all the pies. But the bulk of my income comes from, like, property management. And simple fact of the matter is that I've been having consistent problems with a pool situation in one of the properties, and then my own pool situation has been having similar problems. And I mean, they're unrelated, but basically what that means is I'm out there in the heat, and I live in a very warm area. If you can't tell from my accent that comes in from time to time. I live in a very warm area, so I'm sitting there out there toiling on these machine works trying to get everything working, and I get one working, and then something else further down the line on the same system ruptures, and I'm out there getting that working, and then I come back in, and I'm like sitting there drenched, and as soon as I hit the door, I got somebody shrieking that I wasn't there to go ahead and get them, things that they liked and they didn't even tell me about, and I'm like, and then I come in and I'm sitting in front of the computer, and I'm like, thank God that all I have to do is sit down and play a video game for about an hour or two, and then, oh shit, it's under rail. I'm gonna get stuck behind I'm gonna get my brains fried by a goddamn beetle for the next hour. And yeah, that's basically what it boils down to. But that's what's been going on. It's not an excuse. I could do it. I could manage my time better. It's not an excuse, but it's just the facts, and it's a failure on my part. I needed to get this shit up. I need to get more of this shit to going. Yeah, I will be trying my damnedest to do so. And I've been rambling on enough. For those of you who've watched to the end, I appreciate it. Here's a sneak peek. This is the next review I'm doing. Boom, Tome of Adventure Design. For those of you who wonder whether it's worth it or not, I will tell you. I will tell you to the best of my abilities whether it's worth it or not. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I really appreciate the support. Thank you guys. Until next time, take care. Goodbye.